Let me start at the very beginning. My name is Mia, and this is a story about my life. It is a story about love, mistakes, and finding hope. For so many years, I wondered if I would ever feel happy. I hope you will listen to my story and maybe learn something from what I have lived. I was a quiet child. At home, I hardly spoke. I didn't have many friends. My parents were very strict. They always told me, "No, Mia, you cannot go out. You cannot play. You must stay home." I wanted to laugh, to run, to be a child. But I stayed inside, watching the other kids from my window. I never went to kindergarten. My parents said school was only for studying. So when I started real school, I was afraid. I remember standing outside the classroom, holding my mother's hand, afraid to let go. I kept asking myself, how can I talk to these other children? At first, I was silent. I watched from a distance. I told myself, as I am quiet, I am safe. Days passed, and then, little by little, I started to make friends. At school, I stayed in the background. I wanted to join the art club and try sports, but my parents said, "No, just focus on your studies. Art is not useful." But I loved to draw. Even when I was alone, I filled notebooks with pictures. After finishing high school, I went to college. I was ready for a new chapter. I wanted to make friends, learn, and maybe become an artist one day. Then I met someone. His name was Daniel. He was tall and had kind eyes. He was always making people laugh. For the first time, I felt noticed. Daniel always smiled at me. He said, "Mia, you are so special." When we talked, hours passed in a moment. I forgot all my worries. We became close. He called me his best friend. I started to believe I could be happy. Daniel made me feel beautiful. I was young, only 18, but I was in love. I started to imagine a life together with him. I still wanted to study, but Daniel asked, "Why do you need a degree? We could get married, start our life together now." I thought his love would protect me. So when Daniel asked me to marry him, I said yes. I was just 18 and hopeful. I believed love was more important than my own dreams. So I left college and married Daniel. At first, everything was perfect. We laughed, we dreamed, and we had a little girl. We called her Bella. She was sweet and beautiful, with a tiny laugh that warmed my heart. But very slowly, things began to change. Daniel started to say things I didn't understand. He said, "Don't wear those clothes." He didn't like my tattoos or my short haircut. "Change your style," he told me. I stopped seeing my friends. Daniel said, "You don't need them. Stay at home with Bella." He came home late almost every night. When I asked where he had been, he would only say, "Out with my friends." I felt alone, even when we were together. I tried to talk to him, but he never listened. Sometimes he became angry. One night, he shouted, "You are not a good wife." I cried for hours. I wanted things to get better. One terrible day, Daniel hit me. My heart broke. I didn't recognize the life I was living. I thought about leaving. But I was scared and still hoped things would change. I went to my parents for help. I remember sitting at their kitchen table, eyes red from crying. My father said, "You are married now, Mia. You must stay with your husband." Their words made me feel even more alone. I went back to Daniel. I hoped love could fix everything. After some time, I became pregnant again. This time, I had a son. We named him Oliver. He looked just like me. I loved him the moment I saw his tiny face. But Daniel did not come to the hospital. When I brought Oliver home, Daniel only asked, "Why are you back so soon?" I felt more alone than ever. Soon I found out that Daniel had another woman. He did not try to hide it. He told me, "She loves me more than you do." My heart felt small and cold. I wanted to leave, but had nowhere to go. I had no money and 2 little children who needed me. One day, Daniel joined the army. He left me at home with Bella and Oliver. Before leaving, he said, "You can manage without me." Every day I cried. My father died during this hard time. My mother decided to move to another country. Suddenly, I was truly alone. Sometimes Daniel called from the army. Once he told me, "I have found someone else. I am happier with her." I could not believe my ears. 3 months later, Daniel called me again. "I made a mistake, Mia. Please take me back." I'll be honest, I still loved him. So I said yes. I wanted my family to be together. We tried to fix our marriage, but nothing changed. Daniel still hurt me with his words. This continued year after year. We have now been married for 16 years. Daniel tries to be better, but he still sometimes says things that make me feel worthless. I ask myself often, "Mia, why did you stay? Why did you forgive him again and again?" I am 33 now. I am not the same frightened girl I was. I am stronger, but also tired. There are days when I feel invisible, like I do not exist. But I want to believe that life can be better. I want happiness for myself and for my children. Let me tell you about my children. Every morning I wake up early. I stand by their beds and look at them as they sleep. Bella is 8 and loves to draw and sing. She draws pictures that remind me of my old dreams. Oliver is 4, always laughing and playing with little cars. Their energy gives me strength to start another day. We have a small routine. I make breakfast for us. I pack Bella's lunch for school. Oliver stays home with me. Some days it is so hard. I feel very tired. Sometimes I sit at the kitchen table and wonder, how did life become like this? I try to hide my sadness for the children. One afternoon, there was a knock on my door. My neighbor Lisa stood in the hallway and smiled. "Hi, Mia. Do you want to come over for some tea?" she asked. For a moment, I wanted to say no. I was afraid Daniel would get angry if I left the house. But I needed someone to talk to, even just for a little while. So, I said yes. I went to Lisa's apartment and we sat together. She made me tea and talked gently with me. She listened, really listened. "You are not alone, Mia," she said. Her words touched my heart. For the first time in years, I cried in front of someone. Lisa didn't laugh at me or judge me. She just held my hand. Lisa gave me an idea. She said, "Why not try working from home? Maybe you could bake cakes or do something small." I thought about it for days. Daniel never wanted me to work outside, but maybe if I worked at home, he wouldn't mind. I decided to try. I started baking cakes using old recipes from my grandma's notebook. I was unsure at first, but I worked hard. At first, only Lisa bought my cakes, but soon other neighbors started to order them. I grew busier every week. I started to feel proud for the first time in so long. I thought, maybe I can do this. One day, Daniel came home and found the kitchen full of cakes. He was very angry. He shouted, "Why are you baking? You do not need to work." My hands were shaking, but I looked at him and said, "I am doing this for myself and for the children. I will not stop." Daniel stood silent for a moment. I was frightened, but also stronger than before. From that day, I began to set rules. I told Daniel, "You cannot hurt me anymore. If you ever hit me again, I will leave and never come back." At first, he did not believe me, but I stayed strong. I knew that I needed to keep myself and my children safe. Lisa helped me meet more people. She introduced me to her friends. They were kind, welcoming, and supportive. For the first time in years, I felt like a real person again. I started doing things I used to love. I cut my hair short and wore colorful clothes. I felt happy. One morning, Bella looked at me and smiled. "Mom, you look so happy." Her words filled my heart. I am still here today, living my life and raising my children. Daniel sometimes gets angry, but I do not let him control me. I have learned I am strong. I am not just someone's wife or someone's daughter. I am Mia. I am a mother, a baker, and a woman who has found her own voice. Now, every day, I think about the future. I want a safe home, a place where my children can grow and be happy. I want to feel free to dream again. I do not know if Daniel will ever truly change. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But I know that I have changed. I am not the same scared girl I was before. To anyone out there who feels like I once did, please listen. You are stronger than you think. Even when life feels impossible, hope is still there. Do not give up on yourself or your dreams. If you liked my story or if you feel inspired, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to this channel for more stories. Thank you for being here with me to the end. Maybe one day I will find true peace. I believe that happiness is possible, and I hope wherever you are, that you find it too.